Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to ISKCON of Silicon Valley's Wednesday evening Bhagavad Gita session. We try to get together in the middle of the week and discuss different subject matter, especially related to Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the foundational Shastra for all Vaishnavas. This is directly coming from the lotus mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, and it is most relevant for any sphere of life. So that's why the devotees, they study Bhagavad Gita on a regular basis. They live the life which is described by Bhagavad Gita and then which is expanded by Srimad Bhagavatam in the later phase. We see that. But all the sutras or all the fundamental understanding comes from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So that's why we come together and study Bhagavad Gita together and have some relief from the material anxieties and tensions during the middle of the week of our daily life. So let's start with a Mangalacharan prayer, then we will sing a bhajan. Maybe we'll sing a bhajan first, and then we'll start with the Mangalacharan prayer. So let me share my screen. So this bhajan is written by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He wrote only a few number of bhajans because he was more inclined to write prose than poetry. He wrote some Sanskrit verses also, but in general, he was more inclined to write prose than poetry. But he still wrote some poetry, and those are like very beautiful bhajans. Some of them we sing on a regular basis, but this one is not that popular. But this is a bhajan based on the fifth verse of Shiksha uh, Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction. So if you know the fifth verse, you can connect with this version very nicely. So it says, Krishna Shaho Krishna Nam Abhinno Janiya Aprakrito Ekomatro Sadhano Maniya Jei Nam Lয় নামে দীক্ষিত হইয়া আদর করিবে মনে স্বগোষ্ঠী জানিয়া. So Krishna Shaho Krishna Nam Abhinno Janiya. So Krishna's name and Krishna are non-different. By thinking in that way, Aprakito Ekmatra Sadhana Maniya. So you can only consider that is my only object of sadhana, object of worship, object of practice of devotional service. Jai Nam Loy, the person whoever takes Harinam, Name Dikkhito Hoya, by taking the Harinam from his spiritual master or getting initiated by his spiritual master, Adoro Koribe Mone Shagoshto Jeniya. Consider him your own sampradaya, own person, own people, own family, Sagoshti, and give respect to him. The next one, Namero Bhajone Jai Krishna Seva Kore, Aprakrito Brajevasi Sarvada Antare. The person who serve Krishna by chanting his holy name and keeps in his heart the mood of a Brajavasi. Aprakrito Brajavasi Sarvada Antare. Brajavasi means the residents of Braja. মধ্যমা বৈষ্ণব জানি ধরো তার পায় অনুগত্য করো তার মনে আর কায়. So please grasp his lotus feet, considering him as the middle level devotee, madhyama adhikari devotee, and serve him anugatya, become surrendered to him, and serve him with your mind and bodies, both mone and kai, mone or kai. Then the last phase, these two verses are actually describing the last phase. নামেরও ভজনে যেই স্বরূপ লোভিয়া অন্য বস্তু নাহি দেখে কৃষ্ণে ত্যাগেয়া কৃষ্ণে তর সম্বন্ধ না পাইয়া জগতে সর্বজনে সমবুদ্ধি করে কৃষ্ণব্রতে. The person by the potency of holy name or chanting of holy name, who got his sarupa siddhi, who is eternal identity, and he doesn't see anything without Krishna. অন্য বস্তু নাহি দেখে কৃষ্ণ ত্যাগিয়া কৃষ্ণে তর সম্বন্ধ না পাইয়া জগতে সর্বজনে সমবুদ্ধি করে কৃষ্ণব্রতে. He doesn't see anything which is not related to Krishna, and that's why he pays respect to everything, each and every object as an worship to Krishna, as a part of Krishna. Sarvajana Samabhuti, and he considers everything in the equal platform as a part of Krishna's energy. তাদৃশ ভজন বিজ্ঞে জানিও অভীষ্ট, কায় মনোবাক্যে সেবা হইয়া নিবিষ্ট. That kind of person who is in the Uttama level, the top level, consider him as your goal of life and serve him with your mind, body, mind, and words. Kaya monovakya, seva huya nivisto. So you absorb your mind, body, and words to serve him. শুশ্রূষ করিবে তাঁরে সর্বত ভাবেতে কৃষ্ণের চরণ লভ হয় তাহা হইতে. You serve him. Shushushu means like you serve with deep intention. Shushushodadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchis and Mahatsevaya Vipra Punnatirthini Shevanat. So serve him in all respect with full attention. Krishna Charanolabh Hai Taha Hoite. Then you will get the lotus feet of Krishna by serving the topmost class of devotees. So this verse is basically the Krishnete Yasya Gri Tang Manasadriyat Diksheti Pranata Vishcham Yat Bhajantam Isham Shushusha Vigya Bhajana Anandamanya Nindadi Shunno Ridimeshpida Sangalabdha. That verse is actually quoted here in this song, or elaborated in this song. It's a beautiful song. কৃষ্ণ সহ কৃষ্ণ নাম অভিন্ন জানিয়া অপ্রাকৃত একমাত্র সাধন মানিয়া যেই নাম লয় নামে দীক্ষিত হইয়া আদর করিবে মনে স্বগোষ্ঠী জানিয়া নামের ভজনে যেই কৃষ্ণ সেবা করে অপ্রাকৃত ব্রজে বাসী সর্বদা অন্তরে মধ্যমা বৈষ্ণব জানি ধর তার পায় অনুগত্য কর তার মনে আর কায় নামের ভজনে যেই স্বরূপ লোভিয়া অন্য বস্তু নাহি দেখে কৃষ্ণতে আগিয়া কৃষ্ণেতর সম্বন্ধ না পাইয়া জগতে সর্বজনে সমবুদ্ধি করে কৃষ্ণ ব্রতে তাদৃশ ভজন বিজ্ঞ জানিয়া অভীষ্ট কায় মন বাক্যে সেবা হইয়া নিবিষ্ট শুশ্রূষা করিবে তাঁরে সর্বতোভাবেতে কৃষ্ণের চরণ লভ হয় তাহা হইতে কৃষ্ণ সহ কৃষ্ণ নাম অভিন্ন জানিয়া প্রাকৃত একমাত্র সাধন মানিয়া. Sorry, actually, I wanted to sing in a different tune, but forgot the tune while explaining the bhajan, and that is I couldn't find a tune in the internet, so I created a tune on my own. Okay, so thank you for listening. But it's a beautiful song. I like the song, especially how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also does the same thing. He explains very critical subject matters like Shiksha Ashtakama, Manu Shiksha, and he explains them in a very beautiful songs so that people can remember poetry easily. They can also release the poetry and they can also connect, especially the language of the acharyas. Sanskrit language is not so easy for general devotees. So that's why they dilute it by introducing their own rasa, own realization, and using simple Bengali language. So, especially those who are Bengali, they have the luxury to study all those bhajans. So, let's start with the Mangalachan prayer. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति सा पदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhannitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namastute Tatta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namayang Vishnu Padayo Krishna Prishta Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी पुचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्तु देशु तारिणे वंश कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। हरे कृष्ण। गौराङ्गैकगतिर्वजाश्रितमती श्रीगौरधामस्थितिः स्वच्छश्रैकवितिर्कुसङ्गविरतिर्दुस्तय व्यथा निष्कृतिः श्रीरूपैकरति सनातननते श्रीजीवते जस्वती श्रीसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीर्विजयते गौरी गोष्ठीपति। Hare Krishna. So we'll discuss about our chat verses today and then we'll go to a different subject. But let's study the chat subject matters first. And this chapter is one of the difficult chapters in terms of Sanskrit recitation. Now, Sanskrit is a very ubiquitous language. In general, Vedic philosophy, it includes all kinds of rasa. So while you're chanting a Sanskrit verse, based on the rasa, or based on the mood of the verse, what is being depicted there, the meter will change. So that's why sometimes you will see Shardura Bikritam, sometimes you see Rajhamsa, sometimes you see Trishtup and Anushtup Chanda in general, and sometimes you see very difficult words are being used to express the mood of that verse. So in this chapter, in Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, in general, it's a conversational language, right? Somebody is asking, Arjuna is asking, and Lord Krishna is answering his question as a spiritual master. But the so in conversational language, there is not much different types of emotion. It's mostly somebody is a seeker and somebody is answering the questions. However, in this chapter, it's not only conversation. Krishna is showing something to Arjuna, and when Krishna showed something, Arjuna became frightened. Arjuna was scared. First of all, Arjuna did not need Krishna to show anything to establish his supremacy. It was not needed because the chapter before Arjuna already accepted. Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Ajo Nityam Adi Devam Adi Devam Ajo Bhimum Ahuscha Rishaya Sarve Devarshi Naradas Tatha Asita Devala Vyasa Sayam Cheva Bhavishime. So in these two verses, 12 and 13, 10, 12 and 13, Arjuna already accepted that Krishna, you are the original personality, you are the Adi personality, and it's not, I am only saying, previously Asita, Deval, Vyasa, these personalities also said about the same, and now you also told me the same. So he already accepted Krishna. However, the ordinary people, they will not be convinced. I will not be convinced that, oh, Krishna, what is the difference? He knows maybe some philosophy. He is claiming that I am this, I am that, my vibhuti is this, my vibhuti is that. So I can also claim. But how can I establish that I am that personality who is the controller of everything, who is really that supreme personality of Godhead? So dispel that confusion. Krishna is showing his Vishwarupa. Vishwarupa means the universal form, the form which contains everything in this world, animate and inanimate. And this is kind of a form of the material world also. Because we see also in Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, second canto, the universal form is described, and there universally this form is described in more vivid manner by Shukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. So here it's a very short form because they are in the battlefield, very concise time, so everything has to be very fast forward, right? So when Krishna was showing this form, Arjuna was frightened. So the verses which is depicting his emotion when you're seeing, they are using very difficult words, and the meter is also very difficult. The most difficult meter, the tongue twisting verses, are here in Shrimad Bhagavad Gita in this chapter. So let's read from 23 because that's our chat this month. We'll read only the translation. Let's actually go to translation. And each of us can read 5 so that can save some time and everybody can be engaged also. So maybe Asha Madhababu, you can read from 23 to 27.
Okay. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Verse 23. O mighty armed one, all the planets with the demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form, with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many big terrible teeth. As they are disturbed, so am I. O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions I am bewildered. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings, and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also, are rushing into your fearful mouths, and some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth.
Thank you, Babu. Sukarapa Mataji, you want to read the next 5 verses, 28 to 32?
Yes, Prabhu. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths, as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays. O Lord of Lords, O fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, time I am, the great destroyer of the world, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain.
Okay, I'll read now. Text 33. Therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory, conquer your enemies, and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not disturb. Do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. O great one, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Ashwamedha, you can read 38 to 42.
Sorry. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes. O limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. You are air, and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again and yet again. Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses.
Sukarama Mataji, 43 to 48, 47.
Yes, Prabhu. You are the supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living
Oh,
being. Thus,
43, Mataji. You are the father.
oh, you are so sorry. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and non moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be any more greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? You are the supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus, I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend, the impertinence of a friend, or the husband, the infamility of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done. I may have done you. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe, O universal form, O thousand armed Lord. I wish to see you in your four-armed form with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, happily I have shown you my internal potency, this spiritual universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal, primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence.
Thank you, Mataji. Text 48. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances, can I be seen in this form in the material world. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form of you desire. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, O Janardhan, seeing this human-like form so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind, and I am restored to my original nature. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are never even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form which is so dear. Ashamada Prabhuji. Last three verses.
The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. My dear Arjun, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hari
So
Krishna.
you see that this verse, this has a flavor of impersonalism also, because you cannot play with this form, you cannot worship this form also. In true sense, we don't worship Vishwarupa form. And also it is not any spiritual form, for that matter. It's a material form. It actually talks about the material world. It doesn't show you the spiritual world. But Krishna's original form, the Dibhuj Sham Sundar form, or even the Chaturbuj Vishnu form, they are spiritual form in general. So that's why it is more difficult to understand that how the Lord is also controlling everything and the material energy is also part of him. So that's like in the next chapter, Krishna is talking about impersonalism, worship of impersonalism. Because Arjuna, next, the first question in the next chapter is like, whether what is the best, worshipping the impersonal form or the personal form? Anyways, but this chapter is very important in the sense Krishna is telling very boldly that you cannot understand this form by any material endeavor, studying Vedas, doing penances, charity, austerities. And the greatest example is Duryodhana himself. When Krishna, before the war started, he wanted to capture Krishna, Duryodhana. He was very angry with Krishna when Krishna put forward the peace proposal. Duryodhana was not very happy with that. And then Krishna showed him the effulgent universal form. He could not see, true to say, because he did not have that spiritual vision. Arjuna was given that vision. He did not have. So that's why he saw only glaring effulgence. But Krishna manifested his universal form there as well. So it is by Krishna's mercy one can see him. Krishna allows us. In the temple also we see Krishna. But how whether we see Krishna or not, it's only we know and Krishna knows. Actually, Krishna knows. We may not know. But Krishna is present there, right? Krishna's Archa Vigraha form, Darshan Vigraha form, Oshivaval form is not different from the Krishna himself. But do you see that? So that's an interesting point we need to ponder on. And of course, Krishna, Arjuna's all that confusion got dispelled. I like the part here that Arjuna, he felt like Krishna is my friend. Krishna is very powerful, but he's still my friend. So he behaved in a friendly manner. But when he saw Krishna's original form as in the universal form, like the all possessor of all energies, he became frightened. And that time he said, "Look, oh, I ask for forgiveness." So this is outside Brajadham. This is the mood of the devotees. There is awe and reverence, which comes first, then the sweetness, the madhurya. Only in Brajadham, the devotees, they see Krishna is killing all the demons, big, big demons. He is only a small boy, but they are still not bothered. Krishna is our friend. Krishna can do something mystical. He may be God, but I don't care. So that mood is absent in other places. And that's why in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sanatana Goswami glorified the Brajavasis as the topmost devotees. In the second part also he mentions that how the Pancha Pandavas are Paramprashta devotees. But on top of that also there are three categories of devotees on top of them. Dwarakavasis, then Krishnas, Mathuravasis, and then the topmost is the Brajavasis, how their mood is more advanced. So here we can see that. Now let's actually read the summary of this chapter, because Srila Prabhupada beautifully he concluded every chapter with a summary, explanation that what this chapter is all about. Oh my God, this is big. Well, let's actually read it. We can read one paragraph each. Maybe I'll read the verse. मत्कर्म कृन्मत् परम मद्भक्ता संगवर्जिता निर्वैरा सर्वभूतेषु या सा मामेति पांडवा. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. Purport by Abhaycharanarvinda Bhaktivedanta ऐसी अभयचरण Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purport: anyone who wants to approach the supreme of all the personalities of Godhead on the Krishna Loka planet in the spiritual sky and be intimately connected with the Supreme Personality Krishna must take this formula as stated by the Supreme Himself. Therefore, this verse is considered to be the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a book directed to the conditioned souls who are engaged in the material world with the purpose of lording it over nature and who do not know of the real spiritual life. The Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand his spiritual existence and his eternal relationship with the Supreme Spiritual Personality, and to teach one how to go back home, back to Godhead. Now, here is the verse which clearly explains the process by which one can attain success in his spiritual activity, devotional service. Now, Sukarupa Mataji, you can read the next two paragraphs.
Anashakta Visayam Prabhu, from there.
As far as work is concerned, yeah.
As far as work is concerned, one should transfer his energy entirely to Krishna conscious activities, as stated in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-255. Anasatya Visayam Yatharam Upayunjitah Nirbhaya Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Uchate. No work should be done by any man except in relationship to Krishna. This is called Krishna karma. One may be engaged in various activities, but one should not be attached to the result of his work. The result should be done only for him. For example, one may be engaged in business, but to transform that activity into Krishna consciousness, one has to do business for Krishna. If Krishna is the proprietor of the business, then Krishna should enjoy the profit of the business. If a businessman is in possession of thousands and thousands of dollars, and if he has to offer all this to Krishna, he can do it. This is work for Krishna. Instead of constructing a big building for his sense gratification, he can construct a nice temple for Krishna, and he can install a deity of Krishna and arrange for the deity service as it outlined in the authorized book of devotional service. This is all Krishna karma. One should not be attached to the result of his work, but the result should be offered to Krishna, and one should accept as prasadam the remnant of offerings to Krishna. If one construct a very big building for Krishna and install the deity of Krishna, one should not prohibit it from living there, but it is understood that the proprietor of the building is Krishna. That is called Krishna consciousness. If, however, one is not able to construct a temple for Krishna, one can engage himself in cleansing the temple of Krishna. That is also Krishna karma. One can cultivate a garden. Anyone who has land in India, at least any poor man has a certain amount of land, can utilize that for Krishna by growing flowers to offer him. One can sow tulsi plant because tulsi leaves are very important, and Krishna has recommended this in Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Krishna desires that one offer him either a leaf or a flower or a fruit or a little water, and by such a offering he is satisfied. This leaf specially referred to the tulsi. This leaf especially refers to the tulsi. So one can sow tulsi and pour water on the plant. Thus, even the poorest man can engage in service of Krishna. There are some of examples of how one can engage in working for Krishna. The word matpara matpara matparamaha refers to one who considers the association of Krishna in his supreme abode to be the highest perfection of life. Such a person does not wish to be elevated to higher planets such as the moon or sun or heavenly planets, or even the highest planet of this universe, Brahmaloka. He has no attraction for that. He is only attracted to being transferred to the spiritual sky. And even in the spiritual sky, he is not satisfied with the merging into glowing Brahmajyoti effulgence, or for he wants to enter the highest spiritual planet, namely Krishna Loka, Goloka, Vrindavana. He has full knowledge of that planet, and thereafter he is not interested in any other. Therefore, he is not interested in any other. As indicated by the word Mat Bhakta, he fully engages in devotional service, specifically in the nine process of devotional engagement: hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering prayers, carrying out the orders of the Lord, making friends with Him, and surrendering everything to Him. One can engage in all nine devotional process, or eight or seven, or at least in one, and that will surely make one perfect.
Thank you, Mataji. Asha Mother Babu, you want to read the next two paragraphs, Babuji?
The term Sangha is very significant. One should dissociate himself from persons who are against Krishna. Not only are the atheistic persons against Krishna, but so also are those who are attracted to fruitive activities and mental speculation. Therefore, the pure form of devotional service is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11 as follows. Anyabhilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanu silanam bhakti uttama. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami clearly states that if anyone wants to execute unalloyed devotional service, he must be freed from all kinds of material contamination. He must be freed from the association of persons who are addicted to fruitive activities and mental speculation. When freed from such unwanted association and from the contamination of material desires, one favorably cultivates knowledge of Krishna, that is called pure devotional service. अनुकूल्यस्य संकल्प प्रतिकूल्यस्य वर्जनम हरिभक्ति विलास 11.676. One should think of Krishna and act for Krishna favorably, not unfavorably. Kamsa was an enemy of Krishna's. From the very beginning of Krishna's birth, Kamsa planned in so many ways to kill him, and because he was always unsuccessful, he was always thinking of Krishna. Thus, while working, while eating, and while sleeping, he was always Krishna conscious in every respect. But that Krishna consciousness was not favorable. And therefore, in spite of his always thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day, he was considered a demon. And Krishna at last killed him. Of course, anyone who is killed by Krishna attains salvation immediately. But that is not the aim of the pure devotee. The pure devotee does not even want salvation. He does not want to be transferred even to the highest planet, Golok Vrindavan. His only objective is to serve Krishna wherever he may be. A devotee of Krishna is friendly to everyone. Therefore, it is said here that he has no enemy, Nirvaira. How is this? A devotee situated in Krishna consciousness knows that only devotional service to Krishna can relieve a person from all the problems of life. He has personal experience of this, and therefore he wants to introduce this system, Krishna consciousness, into human society. There are many examples in history of devotees of the Lord who risked their lives for the spreading of God consciousness. The favorite example is Lord Jesus Christ. He was crucified by the non-devotees, but he sacrificed his life for spreading God consciousness. Of course, it would be superficial to understand that he was killed. Similarly, in India also there are many examples such as Thakur Haridas and Prahlad Maharaj. Why such risk? Because they wanted to spread Krishna consciousness, and it is difficult. A Krishna conscious person knows that if a man is suffering, it is due to his forgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. Therefore, the highest benefit one can render to human society is relieving one's neighbor from all material problems. In such a way, a pure devotee is engaged in the service of the Lord. Now we can imagine how merciful Krishna is to those engaged in his service, risking everything for him. Therefore, it is certain that such persons must reach the supreme planet after leaving the body.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Haribol.
In summary, the universal form of Krishna, which is the temporary manifestation, and the form of time, which devours everything, and even the form of Vishnu, four-handed, have all been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is a manifestation of the original Vishwarupa or Vishnu. Krishna is the origin of all forms. There are hundreds and thousands of Vishnus, but for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important but the original form. 200 Shyama Sundara. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that those who attach to the Samsundara form of Krishna in love and devotion can see him always within the herd and cannot see anything else. One should understand, therefore, that the purport of these 11 chapters is that the form of Krishna is essential and supreme. Thus, in the Bhaktivedanta purpose to the 11th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in the matter of the universal form. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Beautiful, beautiful purport actually. These only if somebody reads the purport of this verse, I think he knows Krishna conscious philosophy in essence. And then, of course, the explanation comes. But I think everything is there. The two most important verses which are inscribed in the logo of Gaudiya Math, these are the verses. Anashaktasya Vishayan Yatarham Upanjate Nirvanda Krishna Sambandha Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate Prapanchikataya Buddhya Hari Sambandhina Vastuna Mumukshu Vifarityago Vairagyam Falgugatyate. Actually, this is written in the both sides of Mayapur ISKCON temple, both sides. Left side is Anasaktasya, right side is Prapanchikataya Buddhya. And then ISKCON's logo is there based on the logo of original Gaudiya Math logos. So beautiful verse. And then the verse, next verse. This is the definition of pure devotional service. So if you know these two, like pure devotional service, what is pure devotional service? And to do all pure devotional, execute pure devotional service, what you need to do? You just attach everything to Krishna. That's it. That's it. If you cannot attach something to Krishna, then that's not a devotional service. That's an important point. If you can attach everything to Krishna service, then it is a pure devotional service. I will give you a practical example. One time, I think it was happening in 2014, the year I got initiation from my Guru Padma. So he was visiting Universal Studio because he's in charge of TOBP's exhibition center. There will be an exhibition of 14 planetary systems inside the TOBP, the planetarium part. So he had to experience different things which are there in Universal Studio and other places. I think he visited few places also. Disney also he went. And they were talking with different contractors who constructed those exhibition centers. So he wanted to have a first-hand experience. Now he visited, he did not stay too much time, half a day. And then he came back. He had some specific things to do, and after doing that, he came out. I was there giving a ride. I was staying outside the park. I did not enter the park because I didn't have a ticket, or I was also not planning to go. So I was waiting, and then after some time, maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours, they stayed there. Now Guru Maharaj had a service there to do, so he did the service and he connected it to Krishna. One time he went to Dubai. That time he was healthy. It's pre-stroke era, 2000, before 2008. So some devotees, rich devotees, they said like Guru Maharaj here is very popular is sand dune riding. They drive cars, motorcycles in sand dune, and it's a fun activities. Some people also do skateboarding kind of things also. So Guru Maharaj said, and so the servants of Guru Maharaj and the people who are accompanying him in the travel are close devotees. They were very excited. Oh, Prabhu is arranging. Prabhu is a very high official in Emirates Airlines, so he has few sponsored, you know, tickets or something like that. So they were very excited. But Guru Maharaj was very silent. And then when they again proposed, then Guru Maharaj said, like, I cannot connect it to Krishna. I don't see any connection with Krishna for this thing, for this amusement. So that's very important. That's very important. How you are actually seeing things in connection with Krishna. If you can see something in connection with Krishna, even anger, even hate, then you are good. Krishna doesn't like indifference. So even that can also help you. It may not be Anukulyana Krishna Anushilanam. If you are serving Krishna or if you are directing negative emotions towards Krishna, that will not be higher devotional service, but at least to some extent you will get blessings from Krishna because Krishna likes to enjoy all rasas. But in general, the devotees want to execute positive emotions towards Krishna. So that's one other like higher level. But in general, when we can attach anything to Krishna, then we are successful. Yeno teno prakareno mano Krishna nivesayat. Sarva vidhi nishid asuri etayor evo kinkara. Some or other engage your mind to Krishna. all the rules and regulations, they are subservient to these rule. So if you are following these rule, then all the rules and regulations, they will be in place. So this is an excellent purport. I think this is one of the best purports of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. Very concise, and Prabhupada also told like this verse is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Mat karma krit mat parama mat bhakta sangha varjita nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yasa mameti pandava. How can you, Krishna, in many places Krishna said like, oh, you can achieve me by this, by this, by this, by this. But this is a very good for a person who is starting Krishna bhakti in the starting level. First starting level, mat karma krit mat parama, somehow or other, whatever you are doing dedicated to Krishna. Yat karosi yad asnasi yad juhoshi dadasi yat tapassasi tu konteya tat kurusha madarpana. And then Madhbhakta Sangha association in the 12 things which is described by Srila Rupa Goswami Pad in Upadeshamrita. 6 don'ts, 6 do's. That Atyahara Prayasascha Prajalpa Niyamagraha Janasangascha Lulyam Cha Sarvir Bhakti Vinashwati. These are the 6 don'ts. Then Utsaha Nishaya Dhurya Tat Tat Karma Pravartanat Sangatyagat Satavrite Sharavir Bhakti Prasidati. These are 6 do's. Among these 12, there are 3 which are only directly related to association. So 25% is association. So Krishna, that's why is telling Sangha Varjita. Sangha Varjita means the external Sangha, which takes you away from Krishna, but internal Sangha, the devotees who are giving you Krishna consciousness, that should be always there. And that was in the theme of this song also. That if we can dedicate our life, more mind, body, and words to the service of a very elevated devotee, and then that mind and kaya, body, to a Madhyamadikari devotees, then we will be successful in our Krishna consciousness. Very important point. First is mind only, the Kanishtadikari, then mind and words for mind and body for the Madhyamadikari, and then mind, body, and words, everything for Uttamadikari. Beautiful, actually. So, yeah, so this purport actually, I think this purport is one of my favorite purport, and then 1010 is one of my favorite purport. Then of course 27 is also my favorite purport. So these are some of my favorite purports where I feel inspiration that Srila Prabhupada such beautifully, simply explain the Krishna consciousness philosophy in a practical manner. In a practical manner. Srila Prabhupada's beautiful presentation is that when you read Srila Prabhupada's purport, you feel like, oh, Krishna consciousness is not impractical, it is doable. It is doable. Just follow his simple instructions. But yeah, steadiness is most important. Anyway, so as we discussed Srila Prabhupada, so Srila Prabhupada said in one of his, because Srila Prabhupada, when he used to visit Sri Mayapurdam, he never visited, or he didn't visit that much his Guru Maharaj's Samadhi Mandir, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Samadhi. So some of his god brothers said, objected, complained that why he is not visiting his Guru Maharaj's Samadhi, because that's not an etiquette. You go to the place where your Guru Maharaj's Samadhi is, you visit that place and pay obeisances. Then Srila Prabhupada beautifully narrated that I don't see my Guru Maharaj left me. He's always with me. That's why I'm feeling so energized, so powerful in execution of my devotional service. So this spiritual power, it comes from the Guru. If Guru is happy with us, if our mood is to serve him with our body, mind, and words, then he will empower us to go a long distance. He will empower us to do both long and wide, to cover a lot of places and also go for a long journey. And how we actually know that Guru is happy with me? When you see that we are getting more enthusiasm to expand our service, we are feeling joy when we are doing devotional service. Sometimes we do because there is a social pressure also, right? We everybody knows I am initiated, devotees are initiated, so we need to do certain regulations, but maybe inside heart I see that there is no joy. That means the mercy of Guru is not actually flowing in the heart that much. But when the Guru's mercy is flowing, then the devotional service will be very joyful. That verse, right? सवाई पुंसा परा धर्म यथो भक्ति राधक्षते अहितु की प्रतिहता ये आत्मा सुप्रसिद्धति. It will be very, very, very enjoying, very, very blissful experience. Suprasidati. It will give you that kind of. So if that is not there, then we need to introspect. We need to actually see where we are lacking. So Srila Prabhupada got mercy of his Guru Maharaj completely. And that's what we see from his activities. And that's why he became so successful. So he not only glorified, he became a like an acharya of the universe. He also established the glories of his Guru Maharaj in the whole world. You see, most of the old or primitive ISKCON temples. I don't say primitive like the initial stage ISKCON temples. They had also the Murti, the Vigraha of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, along with Srila Prabhupada's own deities. Why? Because he established his Guru's glories to the whole universe, and that special personalities appearance day is coming in 2 days. I think on Friday it is the appearance day of Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he appeared in a very special day. So we worship Mother Saraswati on the Shukla Panchami of the month of Magha. Magha Shukla Panchami is the Basant Panchami, also known as Basant Panchami. Sorry, yes, Magh, yes. Algun is Lord Chaitanya, yeah. Magh Shukla Panchami is also known as Basant Panchami, and we worship Mother Saraswati on that day. But the Krishna Paksha, the the dark side of the moon, the fifth day, that is the appearance day of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Interestingly, our Gaudiya Acharyas explains, especially those who are in the line of Bhakti Vinod Saraswat Dhara, they explain that Saraswati who is being worshipped on the fifth day of Magha and the Gaura Paksha, Shukla Paksha and Gaura Paksha, Gaudiya Vaishnavas call Shukla Paksha as Gaura Paksha, the waxing moon, the fortnight of waxing moon. That is the worship of Vidya Saraswati, the the knowledge who gives us material understanding. It is related to material nature. But the person, and on that day, actually, interestingly, that day also Aprakrita Saraswati was also, she also appeared there, but not as the Mother Saraswati form. She appeared as in the form of Vishnu Priya. Vishnu Priya Devi is the original Saraswati form, Krishna Shakti, Gaura Shakti. So she appeared and she is considered the Aprakrita Saraswati. But that Aprakrita Saraswati again had manifested in the form of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur on the next fortnight, the Krishna fortnight, as the son of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur in the holy land of Puri, Jagannath Puri Dham. Interestingly, Jagannath Puri is a very, very special place in Kali Yuga. Very special place. So much so I cannot glorify it enough. Jagannath Puri is an eternally spiritual place because Krishna resides there eternally. Dhams are eternal. Sometimes it manifests his glories, sometimes it covers his glory. So that doesn't mean that like maybe after 1 day or 2 days of Brahma, the dam will be annihilated. No, it remains there, but it is in the covered form. Just like Lord Krishna, after Lord Krishna's appearance, Vrindavan, it withdrew his sweetness, its opulences. So not many people would know it. Then Lord Krishna discovered. Then Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they also expanded. They also discovered many places afterward. So it remains there. So Jagannath Puri, it is mentioned in Padma Purana that the four Vaishnava acharyas, they will be directly related to Jagannath Puri. Their enlightenment, their revelation of this spiritual knowledge will come from Jagannath Puri. That is a verse, very beautiful verse. And the verse ends with, I know only the end part. The verse is quite big verse. The verse the ends with like Sampradaya vina mantrastha nishpala mataha. Without the sampradaya, the effectiveness of your mantra is zero. There will be no effectiveness. It's fruitless. So in that verse, it says like all in Kali Yuga, all the four sampradayas, Rudra, Sanaka, Sri, Brahma, the acharyas who will come in this sampradaya, they will get revelation in Jagannath Puri. And that is the place where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also appeared, because that's the conjunction of all the Vaishnava Acharyas' revelation place. And in later half, we see also when he established Chaitanya Math, he also established the worship of these four Vaishnava Acharyas, Madhacharya, Ramanujacharya, Vishnu Swami, and Nimbadetya, Nimbarka Acharya. All four Acharyas were established and worshipped there eternally. And of course, we know that harmonizing of these Acharya's teachings, especially Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he took he in the actually this was revealed in his heart in his Samadhi Bhasya. Lord Chaitanya is telling that he's taking two teachings of each of the Acharyas into his Gaudiya Sampradaya, and he Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established those philosophy very powerfully in his temples. So Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, when he appeared, it was a very auspicious occasion. In general, his, as I mentioned that Shukla Panchami, Krishna Panchami of month of Magh, which is also appearance day of Purushottam Acharya, one of Srila Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eternal associates. But the interesting point is, when he was growing up, he also knew himself that he is very knowledgeable, very scholarly. So it is a concomitant fact. If you are very scholarly, if you are knowledge, there will be a little bit of right. Mahaprabhu also had it. Mahaprabhu, when he was showing his Nimai Pandit Lila, he was very proud. He would challenge anyone and everyone. Hey, come, let's have a discussion. And then he will defeat left and right. He will defeat their argument. Then he will establish their argument, and again he will re-establish his previous argument. So that was his scholarship, and people will be just watching him talking and dispelling the arguments. So Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada also had that kind of scholarship. The verse I recited during the Mangalacharana, it says very beautiful characteristics of him as a person, that গৌরাঙ্গৈক গতির ব্রজাশ্রিতমতি শ্রী গৌরধাম স্থিতি স্বচ্ছাশ্রৈক বৃত্তির কুসঙ্গ বিরতি দুস্তৈ ব্যথা নিষ্কৃতি শ্রীরূপৈ করতি সনাতন নদী শ্রী জীব তেজস্তুতি শ্রী সিদ্ধান্ত সরস্বতীর বিজয়তে গৌরীয় গোষ্ঠীপতি. All glories to the master of Gaudiya Vaishnava, Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, who is, and these are the characteristics, Gaurangoika Gati, whose destination is the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Gauradhama is Sthiti, and he externally resides in the Gauradham, Shri Navadip Mayapur, Antardeep. Swachhasroi Kovitir Kushango Verotir Dostoi Vyatha Nishkriti. He dispels the negative arguments which are against the Siddhanta of Srila Rupa Goswami and establishes the Satshastra, the honest, the original scriptural evidences. And that's how he removes the pains, the sufferings of the living entities. Shri Rupa he is attached to Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Nati. He is subservient, or he pays his obeisances to Srila Sanatana Goswami, and Sri Jiva Tejastati, and he has the effulgence of Srila Jiva Goswami. So these are his characteristics. So in this verse also you can understand how much scholarly he was. In fact, he would write few books in single time. Sometimes he would dictate. Sometimes he would also write something here and then something in another place. So he had different types of writing. Even he would publish newspaper and other things also. Anyways, so we'll discuss today a little bit about his last Vyasa Puja address. Because usually you see that Vaishnava Maharaj, when we celebrate his Vyasa Puja, he addresses the devotees and speaks something special. That is a very special, because that time it's not he is feeling honored, because he is transferring all the honors to the previous Acharya, especially Srila Prabhupada, because all the glorification we get, they are meant for our Guru Maharaj. And actually that is the Ritik philosophy. Ritik philosophy is not that, oh, the Guru Parampara will be stopped. No, Ritik philosophy is that all everything what belongs to me it actually doesn't belong to me. It belongs to my Guru Maharaj. So whatever you give me, it will be offered to him. And same thing will happen to the next generation also. When they get something, they will give it to the previous predecessor Acharya. Srila Prabhupada also said, right, no, that all of you boys are sent by my Guru Maharaj. You are assisting me to serve him. So this is the mood of an Acharya. Ritik is not like, okay, like the Guru Parampara is stopped here. Now we'll just, this is the last Guru, and then afterward there will be no Guru. That's a nonsense philosophy. You know that. That's a business philosophy. But Ritik philosophy is this. This is the mode. I mean, in some Babaji Sampradaya, what they do, they don't directly initiate that you are not my disciple. You are disciple of my Guru. And then when he leaves his body, his disciples, when they initiate, they say, no, you are not disciple of mine. You are disciple of my Guru. And that was also mode of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Beautifully. Because he's one of the instructions of Srila Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj. I already told it many times, but it is very inspiring, so we can discuss it many, many times. The three things he said, don't do that. That first is never go to Kalir Shahar, the city of Kali Yuga, Kolkata. That time people used to say Kolikata, not Kolkata. We say now Kolkata, right? And Calcutta. Anyways, but they used to say Kolikata. So Kolikata, don't never go. I don't know how they got the name Kolikata. It looks like Kali's, really Kali's city. So never go there. Then second thing is like never make any disciple. Don't make any disciple. His Guru Maharaj had only two disciples actually. I think other than Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada also there was another disciple, but he is the only one who was known to the world. And then the third thing is never associate with material people. These are the three instructions, and apparently he disobeyed all these three instructions. Right? He went to Kolkata, established many temples there, did a lot of preachings. He made thousands of disciples, literally. I think he had almost 60,000 of disciples. And then third, he associated with many worldly people, even to the extent that in a sannyasi state, he associated with governor of India, like all the big, big people. So when he was asked or challenged by the people, he gave the answers to these allegations. He said, like, okay, I never went to Kolkata, Kolkata, city of Kolkata. I went to Gaudiya Math, the place where Krishna's Katha is done, Krishna's worship is done. That's a Vaikuntha. There is no difference. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiditam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam shrimadatam bhuvi giranti ye bhurita jana. That is the highest benediction, the highest gift where Krishna's glories, Krishna's talks about Krishna is done. So I never went there. Second thing, I never made anyone as my disciple. I made everyone as my guru. They are all my gurus. They are actually observing me how I am performing service to my Guru Maharaj. They are all checking me. So if I don't establish myself as a good and standard in front of them, then I cannot take the responsibility. So I have to always act as a good disciple of my Guru Maharaj. And then third is like I never associated with any materialistic people. Association means you accept something. I never accepted anything from materialistic people. I gave them something, but I never accepted anything from them. So that association is not done. So this is the consciousness of a top class devotee. Only Krishna knows his heart, and when he wants to reveal to some extent sometimes. Otherwise, if you just externally compare his guru's instructions to him, you will be completely bewildered and misunderstand this glorious Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So, in his last speech, we'll very shortly describe it. It's a very, very powerful speech. And this speech is compiled as the last instructions also. Actually, he wrote also his last instructions, but this also can be part of that last instructions. So there he addressed many aspects. Because Vyas Puja is glorifying Vashti Guru and Samasti Guru both. Vashti Guru means the individual Guru, and Samasti Guru is the collective Guru Tattva, which is Vyasdeva, Lord Nityananda. They are representative of collective Guru Tattva, right? And then Vashti Guru is the individual Guru, his characteristics, his qualities, special qualities, which we also glorify, right? So he spoke many things. So First thing he started with assuming the responsibility of being guru. So he said, like, I was reluctant. I was not, I was thinking like I know a lot of scriptures. But Mahaprabhu and his disciple, actually Kodkara Das Babaji Maharaj, they crashed my ego. That understanding that, oh, I am a very learned person. As I mentioned in the beginning, that when you are learned, there will be a little bit of pride in you. But when you are under the shelter of a pure devotee, that the pride which arises from your learning, that will be completely crashed. You will feel like, oh, I'm so down. And that we see in the writings of our Gaudiya Acharyas. When Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing, he's considering that, oh, Kita Janma ho, Yatha tu ash. I am ready to take the birth of an insect as long as I can serve you. Or Srila Kaviraj Goswami is telling, Jagai Madai hoite muishe papisto, Purusher kit hoite muishe logisto. I am more sinful than Jagai and Madhai. I am lower than the worm of his stool. So this is genuine humility because they are under the shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. It's internal energy. And then you see you are unqualified to serve Him. And you feel like, oh, I'm so low. And that's the mood of actually Srimati Radharani also. She considers herself that I don't have any qualification to serve. So his ego got crashed. He said, like, my ego got completely crashed by the mercy. And then I took the responsibility of being a guru. It's a very guru daitwa. It's a very difficult task. He was initially reluctant. And he's telling, oh, now you are all sitting in the simple seats, and I am sitting in a very elevated seat, and I'm garlanded by many garlands. It comes with a lot of weightage. It comes with a lot of responsibility. It's not so easy to become a guru. Guru means like a bigger servant. And in the next part, he says, like, Guru is a big servant. It's not like a small thing. In fact, His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj, once he was describing the leadership in spirituality is like it's an upside down pyramid. In normal pyramid, the top brick, top stone, it sits on top of everything. It's the top, and everything is supporting it. But in spirituality, it is an upside down. The person who is in top, he is actually supporting everything on, above. So it is a very, very difficult responsibility. And if he topples, if it is something, misjudge something or he is not in proper order to support the system, the whole thing will crash. It happens many times when somebody who is not capable and he takes a lot of disciples and then he falls down, or Krishna withdraws his mercy because he becomes so self glorifying, then the whole system collapses. So he says that by the command of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I took the responsibility of this Guruship. Because that was boldly declared by Krishna, by Mahaprabhu. That যারে দেখো তারে কহ কৃষ্ণ হইয়া কৃষ্ণ উপদেশ আমার আজ্ঞায় গুরু হইয়া তারও এই দেশ. That was the instruction to Basudev Vipro, the leper Vipro, when Mahaprabhu was visiting South India. He was there in Kurmadesh and he met Basudev Vipro and he made him, he wanted to accompany Mahaprabhu, Basudev Vipro, but Mahaprabhu said, no, no, stay here and then preach on behalf of me. Become a guru, spiritual master. Keva Vipro keva neshi, Sudra keva nai, Jai Krishna Tattvavetta Shei Guru hai. And he also establishes the fact that it doesn't matter whether you are Vipro, whether you are a sannyasi, whether you are a Shudra, as long as you know the truth about Krishna, you can be Guru. And truth about Krishna means Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That itself is good enough. If you have 100% belief in that truth, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and I am His servant, you are a Guru. But we don't have. That's why we need to study so much scripture, so much thing. But if somebody is like, has that kind of belief, that is good enough to be a spiritual master. And you just give that belief to other people. Shraddha. Just give, give, give. By seeing you, other people will be attracted. Okay, so this is one of the thing that he mentioned that, okay, I become guru because it was in a section of Lord Krishna. And avoid the worldly material inclinations or enjoyment. In his life, he was the embodiment of renunciation. so renounced from the very beginning of life. You know that when he was in college, in Presidency College, at that time it was known as Hindu College, the top college in whole India. All the big luminaries they studied in that college. It was like a flock of all genius people in one area, in one college at that time. So in Hindu College, when he was studying, he formed a Chirokumar group, Shabha, celibate society. And unfortunately, he was the only person who left celibate throughout his life. Other people all became married after some point of time. But this was his conviction, his spirit from the very beginning, renounced, only steady, only doing service to his father and his spiritual masters. His spiritual masters, both his father and Gokritas Babaji Maharaj. So avoid, he says, like, avoid the worldly enjoyment and kindly refrain from mere imitating. Wow, this is such a powerful statement. I was thinking, like, day to day life also. Instead of following, we try to sometimes imitate. Like, okay, uh, I'm not, don't consider it as a blasphemous or anything. I'm just telling, like, sometimes we can also want to imitate like Vishaka Maharaj, like how he throws the banjo, that thing, right, which he plays, how he speaks, looking upward. These are we want to do, but we don't want to follow his spirit, the way he is serving day and night his Guru Maharaj. So we should not be imitating. That is an imitation. Then how he exactly does it, I also want to do it exactly. No, our mood should be to follow him, what he's saying, what he's saying. Don't imitate a powerful personality. You will be vanished. It is said in Srimad Bhagavad Ji Mahapuran that no naitat samachara jatut manasapiha nishwara vinashwati achirat madhyat yatha rudrabdhi avajam visham. That even in mind also don't want to imitate a very powerful personality. Just like if you are not a Rudra, if you are not Shiva, and if you drink poison, you will be done. You will be done and dusted. Similarly, you never, even in your mind, don't try to imitate someone who is very powerful. But of course, you can follow. We cannot imitate Krishna, but we can follow Krishna's instructions. That should be our goal. So he's saying, kindly refrain from imitating. And that was also one of the instructions of Vaishaka Maharaj. He says, like, try to be a good devotee, don't try to be a great devotee. It's such a powerful statement because somehow or other in this material world, all the qualities of Krishna, all fame, all beauty, all opulences, all power, all strength, all these things, all what Aishwarya, Birja, Shri, Gyan, all knowledge, all renunciation, I think all we
Renunciation.
don't want. We don't want it that much. That needs some effort, but other things we want. All fame, all opulence we want. So that is there, that propensity is there, but we should try to curb it as much as possible, and we should try to follow the instructions of the predecessor acharyas. That's more important than imitate them, how they chanted, how they walked, what dress they wore. Anyways, yeah, maybe that's also sometimes good. You're following someone is very high, but in general, following is more important than imitating because you have also an individuality. You by just imitating, you cannot go nowhere sometimes. Never disregard the guru. That's another point. At some point, when we advance a little bit, we see like, oh, I know better than my guru, or I don't need now guru. I can decide. So one time, His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj, in his book called Many Moons, he was explaining this philosophy. He was telling, I think it was in the words of His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was kind of his Shiksha Guru after Srila Prabhupada disappeared. He took a lot of instructions from him, inspiration from him. In fact, he is also one of the prominent gurus in Radha Kalachari temple. So he was telling that never ever think that you are independent or you can take care of yourself independently. Always stay under the shelter of someone. That was one of his instructions. And he felt it. Immediately said, oh, I feel protected because I am shelter of Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj now. So that's a very important point. Even if we become advanced, we should have a circle. And I see also this also in Vaishreka Maharaj's life also. I see that when Indradharma Maharaj told him that, "Oh, why you are so handsome, you are in Grahasthashram, you should wear different kinds of clothes, colorful clothes. Why you are wearing single color?" So he has started wearing different colors. I know that he doesn't care about what he is wearing because he doesn't have time to put attention. But it was an instruction from his senior god brother, whom he considered his senior and someone who needs to be followed. So that's why he's following that instruction. So this is something also a good lessons for us, that how we should be respectful to our senior uh, devotees, or even who can guide us. We feel like they can give us a better understanding. So never we should feel that okay, we are very independent of Guru. Guru, Guru is as good as God, and Krishna says this, right? And that Acharya ma bijanyam na avamanyat karhichit na martya buddhyasur sarva deva maya guru. Never ever considered that Acharya not different from me. Uh, na avamanyat, never disregard him, disrespect him. If you consider him martya buddhya, means like, oh, he is also materialist, he has a material body, he has material sufferings, then you are done. You are gone. So it's a very good instruction. And uh, this guru is God, but guru is also God's servant, the best servant. We should always consider our Guru Padma, be in Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, he is the best servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why we are under his shelter, okay? And always instruct the mind. I will finish in 3 minutes because I want to, like, hear from you also. Instruct the mind, because that was also his one of his instructions, that slap the mind 100 times in the morning, jata actually, broomstick, and then in the evening 100 times. That means you remind yourself that mind, you are crooked, you are evil, you are bad, but you should put your service to Krishna. Savai Mano Krishna Padar Vindayar Vachangsi Vaikuntha Gunana Varnane. So mana, the king of senses, is the root of all devotional service. If mana is not there, we can chant many millions of rounds, but the result will be zero. We need actually one Hare Krishna Mahamantra, pure chanting, that can give us that benediction. But anyways, the devotees who are in that stage, they cannot stop chanting. But we should instruct the mind. We should be very careful. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the ocean of mercy. And he quotes the verse from Srila Sarup Damodar Goswami, the famous verse which we chant in Sri ISV, I should say, ISKCON of Silicon Valley. It's also Krishna's Mandir, Sri Radha Madan Mohan Shriman Mahaprabhu Lakshmi Singha's eternal abode. So it's a very, very special. It's not different than Golok Vrindavan. So that place we chant this verse, right? Hello Dunito Khedaya Vishodaya Pranmila Damadaya Sambhashastra Vivadaya Rasadaya Chittar Pitonmodaya Sasyad Bhakti Vinodaya Samadaya Madhurya Maryadaya Shri Chaitanya Dayani Dhirtavadaya Bhuyad Amandodaya. So this verse, it speaks about how Mahaprabhu's mercy flows in three ways. You read the purport, beautiful purport given by Srila Prabhupada. There is a touch of Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's first verse of Madhurya Kadambini, because recently I am studying that, but this purport is excellent. And this is the verse which is quoted by Sarup Damodar Goswami as soon as he met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after he came back from his South India yatra. So Sarup Damodar Goswami came from Kashi and Mahaprabhu came from South India, and then they met, and this verse he uttered while paying obeisances to Mahaprabhu. So always we should take shelter of ocean of mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his dham, his associates, and always considered him not different from Nanda. Vrajavasis and Navadip Vasis are our eternal worshipable object. We should always worship them. These are the eternal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna, so they are our worshipable object. And we should always be the devotee of the devotees. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadyanam samarchanam. Krishna is most pleased when somebody serves a pure devotee or a even practicing devotee. When somebody's mood is to serve the devotees in the highest possible manner, Krishna notices this. Krishna doesn't notice why Krishna should notice our endeavor, what quality we have. But when we are sincerely with our own capability, whatever capability we have, we try to serve, we try to please a devotee of Krishna, Krishna notices it. And that is the fructification of your bhakti lata. When your devotee, that Shravana Kirtana jale kareho senchan, that Shravana Kirtana, it doesn't get fructified or gets nourished or become potent unless we serve. And that's why that Tadviddi verse, Tadviddi Pranipatena, Pariprashna Sevaya. Panipat is there, Pariprashna is there, but most important part is Seva, because without Seva, the realization will never come. You can know the knowledge, but the realization will not come to your heart. So that's why Seva. With Seva, other things is not there. Like you are not even asking any questions. You just stay there in the class or in the temple. You are not even listening. You don't have time to listen the class. Still the knowledge will come to you if you have that seva mind. And there are examples, many examples. Gauranga Prabhu was also telling about one devotee who never spoke to any devotee. He was always in the kitchen duty. But suddenly he was given the responsibility of a speaker and he spoke for 3 hours. All from Shastra. Automatically. So this is the power. When you are serving very sincerely, Krishna will empower you to some extent. Even if you just think about Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was not so scholarly compared to some of his god brothers. They were super scholarly. But Prabhupada's speech was so full of energy, realization, deep practical knowledge that devotees, whoever heard it, or even non devotees, they became convinced that this is a practical philosophy. Let's do it. Nike, let's do it. Yes. So, this is the power. So, we should be a devotee of devotees. So, I just very concisely mentioned some of the instructions he gave. It's a pretty big article, and I was reading it. And as you know, that his language is difficult, even though I think he spoke in Bengali, but whoever translated it in a way that it also become difficult in English also, I think on purpose, just like His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj when he wrote Bhakti Vaibhav, the language of the English language of that book is pretty intense, pretty, I will say that poetic or archaic, but that's how he was. So it kind of represents his mood. So we are very grateful that these acharyas, they came on this earth, they walked on this earth, and they are still helping us. They are helping us to go to Krishna Loka, serve Krishna eternally, or execute their mission. Because when we align ourselves in their mood and mission, then we get their mercy. We can experience their mercy around us, just like Srila Prabhupada. He said, like, my Guru Maharaj is always with me. I don't see that he left me. So then we can see that Srila Prabhupada has not left us. Our Guru Maharajas are always with us. And we can feel protected and nourished and empowered. Okay, so thank you. Sorry, this presentation is pretty spontaneous, no preparation as per se. So please forgive me. Have we spoken something wrong? Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Very nice lecture. Spontaneous lectures are always good.
Hare Krishna,
It
yes,
comes from the heart.
correct.
And the whatever knowledge you want to hide, you cannot hide. It comes out from the heart. So that is good actually. Spontaneous lectures. And that is why Braja Rasa is much more sweet and intimate because it comes from the heart, right?
Okay, Vajay.
I was just thinking about that purport you are talking about in that 11th chapter Bhagavad Gita, right?
Mhm.
Uh, Srila Prabhupada, I think, put that purport, even the Krishna's verse also, what he spoke in the end, and Prabhupada's purport also, right? It, it's somewhere Arjun says that I'm losing my equilibrium, right? Right? So that chapter is so disturbing, right? It is so disturbing chapter that intentionally that purport has been put there. So
Mm.
don't get bewildered, don't worry about all those things. At the end, Krishna is trying to comfort Arjuna.
Mm.
Don't worry, you will be protected, all those things, right? So
Correct.
in the purport also, Prabhupada did the same thing. He, so that we are not disturbed, because somewhere in that one of the translations, Arjuna is saying, any direction I'm looking at, I'm bewildered. So that means he doesn't have any escape. He doesn't have any escape from that form, because
Correct.
that form is everywhere,
All
right?
pervading, yes.
All pervading. So he's disturbed everywhere. He's not able to escape. So Prabhupada, I think intentionally, I think he did that wonderful purport after that. And many of those two important verses from our acharyas, right? One is about uh, like what is the anukul, like anukulyana krishnanu, right? The favorable way,
Yeah.
right? Not that time form, right? And always remain scared of someone, right? That is the Kamsa's consciousness. He was scared of Krishna all the time. Right? Instead of focus on his sweet form, his pastimes and all that. So that was great. I thought that I will add. And Bhakti
Yeah.
Siddhanta Thakur, yeah, this particular lecture, I will suggest Prabhu that you are very knowledgeable in this matter. Please take one class dedicated to just this lecture. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, the last letter what you are talking about, right?
Yes. That's
Whatever
sadly.
his instructions, I
Yes.
think it's very valuable. Take one lecture, I think it will be very good. Dedicate this lecture whole completely to this one only. So,
Correct.
valuable. Yeah.
Correct. Thank you. Actually, Prabhu, in our country, there is religious study till 10th grade.
Hmm.
So we did Hindu religion study. So
Hmm.
people who edited those books,
Hmm.
they incorporated some Bhagavad Gita, some Vedas, Vedic slokas also.
Hmm.
So most of the times from Bhagavad Gita, the slokas would come from 10th chapter because this is kind of favorite chapter for impersonalists.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Then you don't have to consider Krishna as a person. Oh, it's an universal form. He's everywhere. This
Ah,
is
okay. Hmm.
beautiful.
Hmm.
That na antyascha madhyascha punascha
Hmm.
bhavam. I don't see your end, your beginning, your middle.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
this is very good for them.
Hmm.
Now I understand why they would include these
Hmm.
verses. Because there's so many beautiful verses in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is declaring his supremacy directly. They
Hmm.
won't include any of those.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
just remembered.
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Sugha Rupa, Sugha, you wanted to say something, you can say.
I was
Okay.
saying this beautiful class, Prabhu. There's so many things to learn from this class. But I didn't know the last letter or Bhakti
Yes.
Siddhanta Saraswati. I mean,
Last address. Yeah. Vyasa.
last address. Yeah. But whatever I have read about Bhakti Siddhanta, his writing, I mean, it is so difficult to understand. Even like a paragraph reading would take like forever. Or, every word you have to go back and look in the dictionaries like that. It's very I mean, um, and difficult to understand. But you made it very simple. And I was taking notes while they were saying so that no imitation, that following the Mahatmas, or the gurus, right? I mean, like, and then no ego, and Mahaprabhu is the ocean of mercy. And then I also like the example that you gave about Jayapataka Swami being in Dubai, and he was not interested in that, what is that, paraclimbing or something,
Yeah.
uh,
The sand riding.
sand
Sand.
riding or something. He was
Yeah.
not interested because he could not relate it to Krishna. So that
Correct.
was something, yeah, it was very interesting. And also, Prabhu, yeah, all the glories you forward it to your guru, like, the glories that you get, I mean, you forward it to your guru. That was also something nice to remember. And yeah, and one other thing that, yeah, I wrote it down. That was also very interesting too. So how you know that mercy is flowing? Krishna's mercy is flowing by you get joy in your service. That's how like sometimes we do service like, okay, I have to do it, but then that means Krishna's mercy is not there. So it's good to remember those things, like, okay, when you see joy or you feel joy in your service, that means Krishna's mercy is flowing. That is a very good thing to remember, while performing the service. Yeah. So there are a lot of good things, I learned from this class, Prabhu. So thank you for the beautiful class.
Thank you, Mataji. Actually, when you talked about our Guru Maharaj, Guru Padma, I remembered another incident also. So Guru Maharaj was visiting USA, and last time near his Vyas Puja, he was here. So I got a chance to offer Vyas Puja offering in front of him. So that's very special, right? Because
Yeah.
he has so many disciples, and I am never with him during his Vyas Puja. So I send my offering anyway. So
Mm,
that time, his god brother, our Bhiguputi Prabhu, he
mm,
was speaking something about him, his experience. His daughter, only daughter, is also initiated by Guru Maharaj. So he was telling that he was in New Zealand that time, and he was having some very nice boat. Guru Maharaj also wrote that boat, and he said, like, send it to Mahapur. And Guru Maharaj did not give him any Lakshmi or anything or any arrangement. He expected that he would send it. Then
mm,
he narrated that he was surprised that why he is asking me to send this boat. And he was also experiencing himself
mm,
riding the boat very nicely. Then, after he narrated the pastime, Guru
mm,
Maharaj, added two sentences. He said it was Srila Prabhupada's desire that there
mm.
will be speedboat ride from Kolkata to Sri Mayapur Dham.
Oh.
I wanted that boat to be
Mm,
there for that purpose only. So I was like, everybody, and even Bigopati Prabhu was like pleasantly surprised to hear that original reason why he wanted that. You didn't know that why he was asking for that, or maybe he did not feel it proper to ask him also, because he was, even though he's god brother, but he was relatively senior and was a guru at that time also. So yeah, so
wow.
this is the mood,
Mode,
somehow or
yeah.
other you are connecting to the order of the spiritual master, to
Yeah.
Krishna. Then
Mm,
even apparent material things like
mm. But it's
speedboat,
not, yeah.
not
Yeah.
material.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Koladwip Pran Prabhu.
Yes. Time
There
over.
is a Kripatita Mataji in the
Oh, from
Facebook,
Malaysia. Jai.
Malaysia. Okay, she's telling, please share this Madhurima verse in your thread here if possible. I don't know which verse she's referring to. I think you mentioned some verse. I think while they were giving Madhurima verse, she's saying in your thread.
What do you remember? Which one?
I don't know which one. I think when she was telling 12 minutes, maybe 12 minutes back, I don't know at what.
Oh, I think this is the 10 chapter 110 verse, I guess. Madhya Lila. That what is that? হেলধ্বনিত খেদয়া বিষদয়া
Oh, okay.
রম্যেলধামদয়া সাম্যা শাস্ত্র বিবাদয়া রসদয়া চিত্তার্পিতন্মদয়া শস্যদ ভক্তি বিনোদয়া সমদয়া মাধুর্য মর্যাদয়া শ্রী চৈতন্য দয়া নিধে তব দয়া ভূয়াদমন্দোদয়া শ্রী চৈতন্য দয়া নিধে তব দয়া ভূয়াদমন্দোদয়া. So this is one of the verse. And then if you are talking about the verse I spoke about, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's, that one is গৌরাঙ্গৈক গতির ব্রজাশ্রিতমতি শ্রী গৌরধাম স্থিতি সচ্ছাশ্রয়িক বৃত্তির কুসঙ্গ বিরতের দুস্তৈ ব্যথা নিষ্কৃতি শ্রীরূপৈক রতি সনাতন নতি শ্রীজীবতে যস্ততি শ্রী সিদ্ধান্ত সরস্বতীর বিজয়তে গৌরী অগস্তিপতি গৌ গৌরে গাঙ্গতটে নবদ্বীপে নব ব্রজে মায়াপুরে শ্রী চৈতন্য মঠ প্রকাশক বর জীবৈক কল্যাণধি শ্রী সিদ্ধান্ত সরস্বতী বিধতৌ গৌরী গৌরবন্নয়ে ভাত ভানুরিব প্রভাত গগনে রূপানুগো পূজিত ভাত ভানুরিব প্রভাত গগনে রূপানুগো পূজিত. So these are the two verses you can also learn. The beautiful verses to glorify Srila Bhaktisiddhanta
Do you know the
Saraswati.
verse number? Do you know, Prabhu?
Oh, these two verses are composed by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Dev Goswami Maharaj on his glorification.
Oh, okay. So it is not from. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like
Anyway,
from Chaitanya.
okay, I think I hope she got it. Okay, Prabhu, I think 8:35.
Yes, yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Pancha Kalpatarubhya Shikha
Yeah.
Yeah.
कोलादीप प्राण प्रभु की जय,
Yeah.
शिला प्रभुपाद
Prabhupada
की
ki
जय,
jai. That's the Gaur Bhakta
गौर
Vrinda.
भक्त वृंद की
Yeah.
जय. Thank you, dear
Thank you, Prabhu.
devotees, from
Thank you
taking
for the
time from your
beautiful
busy
class.
lives and coming to the Wednesday online only class, during the Bhagavad Gita class by Koladwip Pran Prabhu. And we'll again meet on Saturday morning 7:30 to 10:30, and also Sunday evening 3:30 to 5:30 in the temple and online also. And again in next Wednesday we have online class. Thank you.
Hey,
Krishna.